Have you ever paused for a quiet moment and wondered, who am I truly? Not the roles you play, not the thoughts that swirl through your mind, not the pain you've carried for so long. What if these are only echoes of old fears, past wounds, and voices that once shaped you but no longer serve you? Imagine this. Much of what you call yourself may not even belong to you. It might be the weight of inherited sorrow, the patterns of trauma unhealed, the whispers of doubts you once buried deep within. Without realizing it, we live out a script written by these hidden forces. There is a simple but profound truth. Until you bring what is hidden in the shadows of your mind into the light of awareness, it will quietly guide your life, and you will name it destiny. The great teacher Carl Jung once offered this wisdom, and it is like a key that can unlock the invisible prison we often don't see. And here's the heart of the matter. No achievement, no amount of meditation, no ritual of healing will truly free you. Not until you awaken to this. Could it be that the ancient path of the Buddha has been showing us this truth all along? A path that invites you to see clearly what holds you captive. In this journey, we'll explore these unseen chains and how to break them gently and wisely. And stay with me, because at the end, I'll share a rare insight that could shift your path in ways you never imagined. Lesson 1. Discover the quiet strength within. So many of us go through life trying to calm the storm around us. We change jobs, end relationships, move to new places, hoping that peace will greet us on the other side of those changes. But what if peace was never waiting outside? What if it has always been quietly within you? The Buddha's words remind us, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. This is not a phrase to admire. It is the key to your true freedom. The Buddha never promised a life without hardship. What he offered was a path to meet suffering with open eyes, to suffer consciously, without losing ourselves. The deepest pain we experience isn't from life's trials, but from believing we are powerless before them. We mistake the endless chatter of our thoughts for who we are. But you are not your thoughts. You are the still, silent witness who watches them pass. That presence, that steady, unshaken awareness, is the hidden strength within you. Pause for a moment. Breathe. Can you sense what is noticing your thoughts right now? That gentle watcher, that space behind every feeling and belief. That is you. That is the part of you that cannot be broken, that does not cling or resist. In simply seeing, you rediscover your freedom. The world teaches us that strength lies in achievement, in noise, in action. But Buddhist wisdom invites us to another kind of strength, one that blossoms in stillness. Imagine, someone speaks harsh words to you. The ego stirs, ready to defend, to lash out. But the awakened heart pauses. It watches without becoming the insult, without becoming the anger. In that pause, you reclaim your power. True strength does not shout. It sits quietly in meditation, not seeking peace in some distant future, but remembering the peace that has always been here. Just 5 minutes a day, no music, no distractions, only your breath and your being. And then ask yourself softly, who is it that breathes this breath? What you will discover is not another thought, but the living presence beneath it all. Steady, silent, free. I once heard a woman share, I thought heartbreak had shattered me, but it stripped away what wasn't truly me. And in that silence, I found myself again. The pain didn't destroy her, it revealed her. And so I ask you, what if the strength you've been searching for is not about becoming stronger, but about remembering the stillness that was always yours? What if the storm you fear is just noise, and you've forgotten the endless sky that holds it? You don't need to become someone else. You need only to remember the one who sees. Because the most powerful you is not the one who reacts. It is the one who watches. Not the one who chases, but the one who witnesses. Not the one who controls, but the one who awakens. So sit quietly, breathe, watch, and you will find that the one who watches has always been free. Lesson 2. Open your eyes to what truly is. You might believe you are awake, but pause for a moment. Are you really? So many of us move through our days like a fish gliding through water, never noticing the very current we're carried by. Thoughts rise, emotions swell, situations unfold, and almost without question, we react. But here is the deeper truth. We cannot find freedom until we awaken, not to the world outside, but to the hidden patterns within ourselves. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, running late, and suddenly someone cuts in front of you. Your heart pounds, frustration ignites. Maybe an angry word escapes your lips, and you think, they made me angry. But did they? Or did they simply touch the anger that already lives within you, waiting to rise? As long as we sleepwalk through these patterns, suffering seems inevitable. But what if the suffering doesn't come from what happens, but from our unseen reactions? Buddhism teaches this gently but firmly. Pain is not born from the world's events, but from how we unconsciously cling, resist, and respond. The world is not the trap. The mind's unchecked reactions are. Yet within every moment, there is a hidden door. And the key to that door is awareness. You don't need to begin with great leaps. Begin small. Let the next flicker of irritation, envy, or worry be your teacher. When it rises, don't resist it. Simply notice. Quietly name it. This is anger. This is fear. Then breathe. And in that instant of recognition, the cycle breaks. The one who observes the storm is not caught in it. Awakening isn't some grand event. It's not reserved for mountaintops or sacred temples. Awakening is as simple as seeing what is, without the fog of illusion. It is looking at your loved one in a heated moment and realizing, this is not about them. This is my own longing to feel understood. It is watching yourself work late and noticing, I'm not chasing success. I'm running from a feeling of not being enough. I once heard a person reflect, I thought I had to fix my entire life. But in truth, I only needed to truly see it. And in that seeing, everything changed. Because when you become the observer of your own life, you stop being its captive. So ask yourself now, are you living with open eyes or just reacting? What unseen forces have been steering your course? The hunger for approval, the fear of being left behind, the endless drive to prove your worth. Are these shadows still shaping your steps? Buddhism doesn't offer escape from life. It offers clarity. The clarity to meet life as it is, with a heart that sees and a mind that is awake. Healing begins not when we change the world, but when we change how we meet the world. Here is the great secret. Freedom is not a prize waiting at the end of a long road. Freedom is what you discover the moment you stop running, stop reacting, and simply watch. So pause, breathe, witness, and remember, you are not your pain, not your past, not your patterns. You are the one waking up from them. Lesson 3. You are not broken. You are simply forgetting your wholeness. Life has a quiet way of wearing us down, a heartbreak that leaves its mark, a betrayal that lingers like a shadow, moments of rejection, failure, or shame that cause us to turn away from parts of ourselves. Little by little, we begin to hide our softness, silence our anger, and numb our sorrow. And with each part we push aside, we drift further from who we truly are. One day, we look at ourselves, and it feels as if we're gazing at a fractured reflection. The pieces feel scattered, unfamiliar. We mistake these fragments for the whole of who we are. But the wisdom of Buddhism invites us to see beyond the cracks. It doesn't tell us to repair ourselves like something broken. It gently asks us to come home, to gather all that we are with compassion. Wholeness is not perfection. It is the art of embracing every part of yourself. Can you sit quietly, with what you've been trying to outrun. The shame that tightens in your chest, the fear hidden beneath endless tasks, the silent anger masked by polite words. These are not flaws. They are like forgotten children at your door, asking only to be seen, to be welcomed back inside. Among the most profound practices in Buddhist teaching is this: to offer radical kindness, not to the world first, but to yourself. The moment you stop battling your inner landscape, healing begins. When sorrow rises, when discomfort stirs, pause. Don't push it aside. Instead, softly say, "You too may stay." Let yourself feel it fully, without judgment. And then something shifts. The scattered pieces begin to come together. Not because the pain disappears, but because you stop turning away. I once heard a man share, "For so long I thought I had to conquer my weakness, but all I really needed was to sit beside it, without fear." In that simple act of presence, he felt himself becoming whole again. So I ask you now, what parts of yourself are you still keeping outside the door? The part that still aches for love after being hurt? The part that feels unsure, or angry, or afraid? What if these were not burdens to be erased, but signs of your humanness to be honored? You do not need to change who you are to be whole. You need only to stop fleeing from yourself. Wholeness is not something far away that you must seek. It is what you remember when you gather every forgotten piece of yourself and hold it as sacred. In the end, true freedom is not found by fixing what you think is broken. It is found in the love that is large enough to say to every part of you, "You belong here too." Lesson 4. Gently turn toward your shadow. Within each of us lives a part we often turn away from. Not because it is wicked, but because it brings discomfort. We tuck it into the corners of our being, hoping that if we ignore it, it will stay silent. But it never does. Instead, it speaks through the patterns that repeat, the relationships that falter, the dreams we delay, the anger that flares when we least expect it. It whispers beneath our insecurities and roars in the moments we fall silent. What we refuse to face will always find another way to surface. And this is the heart of the matter. True freedom only begins when you are willing to meet your shadow. Picture a child, trembling in bed, terrified of the monster beneath. But when the light is switched on, there is no monster, only forgotten clothes in the dark. Our shadow is much the same. The fear does not live in what we have hidden, but in our refusal to look at it. Your shadow isn't something to destroy. It is something to understand. It holds the pieces of you that you were told not to show. The anger that simmers beneath your smile. The envy you're ashamed to admit. The grief you've kept locked away. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that suffering is born from not seeing clearly, from turning away from who we really are. Your shadow is not separate from your light. It is your guide, if you are willing to listen. The emotions you deny don't simply vanish. They linger, shaping your choices, stealing your peace. But the moment you acknowledge them, the energy once spent hiding them returns to you. Here is a gentle practice. Take a pen and write down the emotions that most unsettle you. What patterns repeat in your life again and again? What moments cause you to shut down or overreact? Follow them back. When did you first feel these things? Who taught you it was wrong to feel this way? Your triggers are not flaws. They are signposts, pointing to wounds that still seek healing. I once knew a man haunted by the fear of being left behind. Each time someone grew close, he'd find a way to push them away. Not because he didn't care, but because deep inside, he believed he didn't deserve lasting love. A belief rooted in childhood, where love came with conditions. He ran from this truth for years, until he finally sat with it. He wrote letters to the child he once was. He gave voice to the part of him that felt unworthy. Slowly, gently, the fear loosened its grip. The pattern began to dissolve, because the only way beyond pain is to move through it. So I ask you, are you ready to meet the part of yourself you've been too afraid to see? What truth might you be avoiding? a truth that could set you free. Stop running. Turn toward your shadow, not with blame, but with kindness. Let in the light. You are not the pain you've carried, but only you can choose to heal it. Remember, facing your shadow is an act of spiritual courage. It may stir discomfort, but beyond that discomfort is your truest strength. Not a flawless you, but a whole one. Not a perfect you, but a free one. Because true freedom comes not from embracing only the light, but from learning to hold the dark too. Lesson 5. Trust that life unfolds with purpose. There are moments when life cracks us open, not as punishment, but as preparation. Someone we love drifts away. A door we long to enter closes. A dream dissolves in front of us. And in that stillness that follows, we whisper to ourselves, "Why me?" Yet Buddhism offers us another way to see. The path does not appear by accident. The teachings tell us, when the heart is ready, the way reveals itself. What if the very moment you find yourself in, no matter how painful or uncertain, is not a mistake? What if every turn, every loss, every pause is placed with quiet purpose, like a leaf carried gently by the wind, landing exactly where it is meant to rest? Perhaps there was a time when life seemed to flow according to your plan. And then, without warning, the ground shifted, a relationship ended, a job was lost, an identity unraveled. And suddenly, what felt solid turned to sand. You may have turned your gaze inward, blaming yourself, or outward, blaming others, or perhaps you felt abandoned by life itself. But what if nothing was falling apart? What if everything was falling into place? What if the sorrow you feel is not a punishment, but a doorway? In Buddhist wisdom, existence is not random or chaotic. It is a web woven from causes and conditions. Each experience, each meeting, each ending arising from seeds planted long ago, seen and unseen. Your heartbreaks, your challenges, are not empty events. They are messages. But to hear them, you must shift the question. Not, why is this happening to me? But what is this moment teaching me? Here is something you can try. Choose a painful memory. Sit quietly with it, not to dwell on the ache, but to listen for the lesson hidden within. What part of you grew stronger because of it? What illusion did it help you shed? What truth did it help you see more clearly? Often, life's greatest teachings arrive wearing the mask of endings. But if you can hold your struggles with openness rather than resistance, meaning begins to emerge, not always in words, but in the quiet transformation of your heart. I once met a woman whose dream was to attend a certain university. When she was rejected, she felt crushed, lost, ashamed. But that seeming failure led her down another road. She chose to volunteer abroad, and in doing so, discovered her true calling, to work with children in need. Years later, she looked back with gratitude for the rejection that redirected her toward a deeper purpose. Because sometimes what feels like loss is life gently guiding you toward what you were meant for all along. So I ask you now, are you pushing against what is trying to reshape you? Can you trust that within the chaos, there may be a hidden order, that the delays and detours may be guiding you to where you are truly meant to be? Nothing you have lived is wasted. No tear, no failure, no sorrow is without meaning. Each is a thread in a tapestry still unfolding, shaping you into who you are becoming. When you release the need for each step to make sense right now, you open the door for life's deeper meaning to reveal itself in time. And when that time comes, you will see. The path did not wait for the perfect moment. The path was waiting for you to be ready to walk it. Lesson 6. Your pain is not yours alone. It's easy to believe that the sorrow you carry is yours alone, that no one could truly understand the weight you bear. But pause, take a breath, and look beneath the surface of that ache. There is a quiet, profound truth waiting there. You have never been alone, not for a moment. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that no self exists apart from others. We do not awaken in isolation. We rise together, or not at all. You are not some solitary storm lost at sea. You are a wave within the vast ocean, inseparable from its tides. Every emotion that stirs within you, every struggle you face, sends ripples that touch all of us. Picture this. Somewhere far away, perhaps across the world, there is another soul sitting with heartbreak, fear, or disappointment, just as you are. The faces and stories may be different, but the feeling is the same. The longing for peace, the yearning to feel whole. What if your pain is not only yours, but part of the greater human experience? And what if each time you choose to heal, to forgive, to meet life with calm presence instead of reaction, you help heal not just yourself, but the larger world we all share? I remember hearing of a young man who fell into despair after a relationship ended. He thought his sorrow was a sign of weakness, a burden he had to carry and solve alone. But during a meditation retreat, he was invited to imagine a stranger, someone he'd never met, feeling that same pain. As he silently offered compassion to that unknown person, something within him softened. He saw that his heartbreak was not his alone. It belonged to a story far greater than himself. And in that moment, his healing began. Not through resisting his sorrow, but through sharing its weight in spirit with another. You can try this too. The next time you sit quietly, as you breathe in, acknowledge your own pain. As you breathe out, send kindness to anyone else, anywhere, who might be feeling the same. No faces, no names, just the silent knowing that we are all connected. This is the heart of compassion, not pity, but the deep remembrance that your peace and the world's peace are woven together, that your journey inward lifts us all. So meditate, not only for your own calm, meditate for those who, in this moment, cannot find theirs. That single act of kindness within your mind can shift the energy of the world around you, because we are linked by unseen threads of thought, of feeling, of spirit. And when you awaken, you shine a light for others to follow. Ask yourself this: can you hold space for your own suffering, and at the same time, open your heart to the pain of others? This is the true practice of Buddhism. Not to run from sorrow, but to transform it through understanding and love. You are not a single wave crashing against the shore. You are part of the vast ocean itself. And when one wave rises, the whole sea lifts. When you heal, the world heals with you. True freedom begins when you realize that your path is part of something larger. Let that truth humble you. Let it give you strength. And let it remind you, every choice you make matters, because we awaken together, or not at all. Lesson 7. Watch the mind, but do not become it. A thought drifts in. I'm not enough. Another soon follows. They don't care about me. And before you realize it, your mind has swept you into its current. What began as a passing ripple becomes a storm. But what if that storm isn't yours to carry? What if, instead of getting pulled in, you could simply witness the waves as they rise and fall? Buddhist wisdom teaches that you are not the storm. You are the mountain beneath it. The silent, steady presence that watches without being moved. In today's world, many confuse what they think with what is true. A fleeting feeling of sadness, and they believe, I am sadness. A moment of doubt, and they believe, I am failure. But here lies the path to freedom. You can watch the mind without becoming its prisoner. A thought may pass through your awareness, but it doesn't have to define you. A feeling may visit, but it doesn't have to command you. There is an old story of a monk deep in meditation, insulted by a passerby trying to provoke him. The monk remained calm, unmoved. Later, when asked why he didn't respond, he smiled gently and said, "If someone offers a gift and you do not accept it, who does it belong to?" This is the gift of observation, the ability to create space between what arises and how you choose to meet it. And in that space, true freedom lives. Try this practice. As thoughts come and go, Gently remind yourself, I see this thought. I do not become it. When worry appears, watch it like clouds drifting across a vast sky. When anger stirs, notice its shape, the tightness in your jaw, the tension in your hands. But do not merge with it. Name it. Witness it. Let it pass like rain. You are the sky, wide, still, unbroken. Emotions are the passing weather, always changing, never staying. This isn't about pushing your feelings away. It's about remembering that they are visitors, not permanent guests. Thoughts are not facts. Feelings are not fate. When you truly see this, you stop reacting blindly. You choose your response with awareness. Ask yourself now, are you mistaking your thoughts for truth? When that inner critic speaks, do you take its voice as your own? That voice is not who you are. It is an echo of old patterns, old fears. Let it speak, if it must, but do not follow. Do not absorb. Simply watch. Here's a simple practice. When you feel overwhelmed, pause. Ask yourself, what is happening right now, and who is witnessing it? That silent presence that watches. That is you. The more you live from that space of clear seeing, the steadier you become. Calm even in the midst of conflict. Clear even in confusion. Like the mountain, you let the storm pass without clinging or resistance. The mind may thunder. The winds of emotion may howl. But your awareness remains, still, vast, and free. Because in the end, this is the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who sees them. And the one who sees has always been free. Bonus lesson: the strength hidden in stillness. For so much of your life, you've been taught to keep moving, to strive, to react, to push forward, as if freedom lies just beyond the next achievement. But what if true freedom doesn't come from doing more, but from doing less? Picture a quiet lake at dawn. The surface is smooth, undisturbed, reflecting the sky so clearly that heaven and earth seem as one. The moment the water is stirred, that perfect reflection disappears beneath ripples and waves. You are that lake, and it's in your stillness that your true self becomes visible. In the constant noise of life, in the endless chase for success, validation, or distraction, we lose sight of who we are. Yet in Buddhism, stillness isn't seen as emptiness or idleness. It is the very ground of strength, the place where clarity is born. Why do so many fear silence? Because in silence, the mind speaks louder at first. The thoughts rush in. The discomfort rises. We feel tempted to fill the space, to escape into noise. But what we often fail to see is this: stillness isn't empty. It is full of wisdom. When you stop running, when you sit quietly and breathe, you begin to hear what's been waiting beneath the noise all along, your own truth. So here is a simple practice. Tomorrow morning, before the world claims your attention, before you reach for your phone, sit for 5 minutes in quiet. No music, no plans. Just sit. Just breathe. Watch how the storm of thought begins to settle. Feel how your energy shifts. In those few moments, the world inside you becomes clearer. You stop fleeing your emotions. You stop reacting, and you begin to respond with presence, with peace. True strength isn't found in constant action. It's found in your ability to rest in what is, without needing to change it. It's in your ability to be fully present, even in discomfort, without flinching or running. Ask yourself gently, what am I afraid the silence will show me? Perhaps you fear that when the noise fades, you'll have to face your doubts, your wounds, your insecurities. But here's the hidden gift. Silence doesn't amplify your fear. It gives you the space to heal it. In that quiet, the answers you seek rise like soft ripples on the lake. Not loud, not demanding, but steady and sure. So the next time life feels overwhelming, pause. Let your mind become still. Let the waters settle. And as the reflection clears, you will see the strength you've been searching for was never out there. It was within you,